Hello, this video is, we should be who we are, the same person to everybody. It's great to have multiple personalities, like do the jive talk every once in a while for fun, and do baby talk or whatever, and then do formal speak for the old people or whatever. But I think it should be up to the old people to remind you that they want you to do formal speak with them, and not just expect that you're going to do that with them. It should just, it should be like, oh, we're going to invite you to the company meeting, or you're going to show up at the job interview. Don't forget to have your job interview personality. It shouldn't be read between the lines, you should know to have job interview personality. It's like, oh, I'll come in and I'll do jive talk with job interview because that's me. And if you want me to do the formal acting, then you have to tell me and then I'll do it. But you got to expect me, you got to remind me to do that like that. We should be totally free to be who we are around anybody. Whether it's your parents, whether it's a stranger, whether it's somebody from another race, whether it's somebody from another country, little kids. We really should practice being us. And a good way, and that's the best way to prepare ourselves for the transformation, to prepare ourselves for being able to speak with each other telepathically. Because when we can speak to each other telepathically, or we can at least read I think us being able to speak telepathically as a human race is going to happen in baby steps. There's going to be lots of intermediary steps. And one of those intermediary steps isn't going to be actually speaking telepathically, but it's going to be reading energy of each other. And if somebody's like a bad person, and I've gotten pretty good at that, I can tell if somebody's like a potential thief just by looking at them. And I think that's because I'm getting more, well, it's from experience, because I've met lots of thieves and lots of people who ended up being crazy, and I know kind of that kind of energy. I've calibrated myself to that. But also I think I'm just becoming more intelligent because of the energy of the earth that's coming in here and making more intelligent. We are becoming more telepathic, and we are becoming more intelligent. I'll include that in this video because I haven't included it in another video, but we are. I heard David Wilcock says, and I haven't actually seen the evidence, but he says that they've been having to keep readjusting the mean for the 100 points for IQ tests, because everybody's getting smarter, everybody's IQ is getting higher, and my intelligence over the last few years has gone up, and that my memory has gone up. I'm starting to develop a photographic memory. And I noticed at first when I was teaching English in Chile, I never had to write my schedule down. I always knew what my schedule was. I could just remember it. And, I used to make notes. 10 years ago, if I was going to make videos talking about stuff, I would probably have written down notes of the points. I don't have to do that anymore. I can just remember them. And if I forget it, then I'll just include it in another video. So that's kind of, but anyways, the video is about how we should, we should practice being ourselves. I got the idea to do this video. I was listening to a presentation by Jose Arguelles, and he was saying, he's going off for 4 hours about how the whole ascension process and everything. And he was saying that one of the most important things that we need to do is you have to be real to yourself, and you have to you have to be the same person that you are in private as you are in public. And I was like, yes, of course you do. You want to be the same person you are in private as you are in public. And a good way to practice doing that is by making YouTube videos. When I show up on my YouTube videos and I'm talking on my YouTube videos, that's me. That's the real me. None of the people who watch my YouTube videos, if you really like me and you subscribe to me, you really don't have to meet me in person, because if you meet me in person, it's going to be the same. You're going to get the same me as the me that's right here in the video. You're not going to learn anything new about me. And I like that. I think that's cool. And I think everybody should do that. Should practice uploading videos talking about stuff. But we're we've been trained for so long to be ashamed of ourselves, and like if you don't have anything, if you don't think you're like smart enough or whatever, then why would you upload a video? But I mean, I get people trying to tell me they're smarter than me all the time, but they don't have any videos of themselves uploaded, and so then they're like, that's just a waste of my time. Why would I do that? I don't know. I kind of got sidetracked, but too many people are just different around different people. You'll get somebody. I don't like the whole dress up thing, like dress up with a tie, dress differently. I understand it. It helps you. It helps you be more professional when you're dressed like that. It kind of does the thing with your head. Kind of like if you dress like a monk in the robes, the purple the orange and red robes of Buddhists. It'll help you kind of think like a Buddhist. You cut the hair and you just won't get upset and riled up as easily, and you'll be more grounded, and it's great, and it works that way. And uniforms in the army help people be more disciplined and cutting their hair, and little kids and putting them in the uniforms. One big argument with putting little kids in uniforms in like third world countries is so that you can't tell who's rich and who's poor, because the poor people dress differently, and then they'd make fun of the poor kids for not having as good of clothes. But I think we're ready to grow out of that. I think we should get rid of mandatory uniforms in the army, in schools, in all schools, and in the workplace, because it promotes two-facedness. It promotes us being different from who we really are, and that you don't know the real person. It makes us into like the Borg, into some kind of like robots, and it discourages you from expressing yourself, and it makes you forget that you really should just express yourself. And it doesn't matter what you believe. You don't get upset with somebody just for believing something that you don't. What you really should do is argue their point. And then, like if you're going to have an argument with your brother, and you're a totally different religion from them, or a different political viewpoint, you're not going to say to your brother, "Oh, fuck you, you fucking asshole. You should go to hell. You should be incarcerated. I've seen other videos of yours and you're totally out of shape too, and you're a loser, and fucking fuck you. Go to hell." You wouldn't say that to your brother. You would have a respectful conversation to your brother. You would go, "Oh yeah, but what you don't understand is this, and I think that you should consider this, and let me tell you about this." It would be respect, because that that's your brother. You're in the same family, and if people had that idea of just looking at each other the same, they would, with the same amount of respect, they would be able to hammer through all the differences, and then we could all agree with the same thing. Have one world religion. We are going to have one world religion. With all the technology out here and all the sharing and all the gigabytes we have, we're going to have one world religion. There's no doubt. There's no avoiding it. It's going to happen. And the sooner that happens, the better. But the best way to do that is by, being straight up. You have to be you. You have to, because, we all have different personalities, and we all have personalities that are offensive. And, but allowing those offensive parts of you to get in the way of expressing yourself and being you and putting yourself out there, is not worth it. It's better to just be you and be annoying if that's who you are, and get out there. There's plenty of stuff about people that's really annoying to me. Like sometimes, like old people especially, they're always swallowing and smacking their lips. Drives me crazy. But I would rather listen. I would rather like cringe and get through somebody doing that, is if they're expressing themselves and if they're saying something that I've never heard before. Like say if it's an old lip smacking fundamentalist Christian or fundamentalist Muslim trying to explain in a serious way in the course of over 15 minutes why they think that people shouldn't draw pictures of Muhammad, and give all the reasons, and I'd be like, okay, because that guy's being him, and like there's this one girl I subscribe to. She's got a really bad stutter. She's like, but she does videos where she talks, and that's great, you know. And nobody makes. Haven't seen anybody make fun of her and go, "Oh, you fucking stupid girl, you stutter, 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 haha." I don't stutter, you know. Stop making videos, you know, because it's clear that she can't help it, and so it's like, you know, me, like the inside of my left nostril itches a lot, and so I have to do that to make the itching go away, and then I have the yawning, you know, and that's just how it is. That's me. And so if everybody was just them and uploaded what, you know, and said what they thought, nobody, they would be a lot less inclined than have a problem with somebody else doing some weird thing that they don't, that kind of freaks them out. People don't share what they think about stuff. Nobody does. Almost nobody does. The people who do, the only people who I see who do, they've got like 60,000 subscribers because they're like some kind of superstar because all they're doing is like expressing themselves, and then they have all the like the observers, you know, the audience watching them, and I don't like that. I think we should all be the performer. We should, and the reason that we're not is because you're afraid that your boss is going to see your video and fire you. There is this article that I saw on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube News the other day, and it's like, oh, things you shouldn't do on Facebook. You shouldn't put your real birthday on Facebook. You shouldn't put, you shouldn't like blog or tweet anything on Facebook, on like Twitter or whatever. Some like waiter tweeted that he didn't get big enough of a tip and got fired. Big enough a tip from some famous person and got fired over it. Yeah, people are like, and they're saying like, you know, I think that's a motivation why people don't express what they think about stuff, like political stuff. It always has to be under the covers because they're afraid that they'll get fired for it. Well, it's like a numbers thing. If everybody, I'm shaving my balls, trying to get mud off of it. If everybody expressed what they thought about stuff, no matter what it was, then there'd be nobody left to fire, because if you fired everybody, there'd be no workforce left, you know? And it's kind of too bad that people with families have to play the game, you know, because if you have a family and you have mouths to feed, you got to play the game. So I think if you're the kind of person who doesn't have a family and doesn't have mouths to feed, you should take it upon yourself to be an example to all those other people who are afraid to because they have families, and express yourself, and then show them, you know, that it's okay to get away with saying whatever the fuck you want about stuff, and it's okay to get away with saying stuff that a lot of people would be offended with, like, for example, talk about having sex with a prostitute, or, you know, masturbating, or speaking in double negatives, or like talking about doing drugs or whatever. Say whatever you want, and then prove that you can get away with it. And also proving that the people who don't want you to say that kind of stuff, how crude they actually are. And that it's actually the sophisticated, intelligent people who really care and want to help get the world to the next level are the ones who are out there saying stuff and showing their faces. And, you know, the ones who are anonymous are the ones who are being rude and calling names and stuff. Yeah, because lying is a really bad thing. I only have like a couple seconds, but lying is something that causes third world countries to stay third world. It causes people to not trust our government. It causes us to, it lets thieves get away with stealing. Lying is bad, and the best way to kill lying is by encouraging everybody to be them. Oh, I'm out of time. Okay.